Star Trek was it was a very loaded situation because apart from any of the creative issues, Paramount. It was a very important franchise for Paramount. They made an enormous amount of money on it, foreign, everywhere else you can imagine. And Chris Kraft, the other 50% ownership, really felt that Paramount was getting all these benefits from financial benefits from Star Trek that they weren't getting from the network, which all the network was doing was writing a check for each episode and then having to sell it maybe at a break-even level if it was lucky. So it really, Star Trek particularly, led to what was a horrible, horrible dysfunctional relationship between the partners that ignited almost immediately. They hated each other, and both personally and professionally. And so by the time I got there, they were no longer on speaking terms. I didn't know that, but they no longer spoke. And Star Trek was the key to the lack of trust between them. And so it was always it always had a affect around it. It always had emotions around it that went well beyond whatever it was doing in the ratings or whatever the creative issues with it were or anything else. And Paramount also closely guarded control of it because it was their franchise, and so it was very difficult to have any kind of input into the evolution of the show. And so it was very problematic in lots of ways. I mean, advertisers liked it, but it didn't drive anything else. Paramount never developed a successful 1 hour companion piece to it, so it was difficult. It was just sitting there. And in fact, every piece that Paramount tried to develop was disastrous. At one, not just bad, but horrible. In the Enterprise, in the last Star Trek, I had problems with it creatively, and I felt that it was old and tired, and I felt like I'd seen it all before, and I felt that the audience, which is already sort of losing its Trekkies were already losing their enthusiasm for the franchise, was not going to come back, and because you can't keep just treating them like a marketing machine. And you know, and I had endless talks with Carrie McCluggage, who was the head of Paramount, and you know, they just felt that they wanted to do what they wanted to do, and we didn't really have any. Ultimately, we had no say over it, and you know, and that's really what happened. And they did the show, and it was bad. And what we wanted to do was something much more akin to sort of Star Trek Academy, where like, you know, young, good-looking kids in spaceships shooting each other and, you know, having sex. You know, they wanted to do, you know, some 45-year-old guy, you know, prowling about in some spaceship, and it was just really, you know, with a lot of guys in funny ears, it was just really kind of very, very tired. And it turned out to be that.